welcome to the stage Harriet.
Good evening. I know I'm going to get one show of hands after Dave's talk earlier, but is there anyone here by a show of hands who's had a really disappointing experience with online dating? Yay, okay, so you all know what I'm talking about, right? I have had most recently, and especially in the last few years since I've been divorced, a very disappointing time. I felt frustrated, I felt in despair, I felt complete disbelief at the kind of messages that I've received from people in the online world. And I was lying awake one night, imagining what it might be like in 100 years' time. And so I just want to kind of tell an imaginary story about dating and trying to find your perfect match in 100 years' time. And I imagine that what might happen then might be that you don't have to go to bars. Probably alcohol will be illegal then, right? Anyway, and that whole scene will be completely defunct. And that, in fact, someone like me, a woman who's, you know, I'm approaching 40, I'm doing okay financially, I have an amazing business and all kinds of things, might not have to go and find somebody who's already there, but could go to the latest scientific dating lab and have the man of your dreams created. And I'm imagining that I go there. I go to this amazing place. It's in Harley Street. You know, I mean, really excited. I'm really, really excited because I'm finally going to find somebody who fulfills all of the things that I really, really want. And I sit down, and the lady sits opposite me. She's got one of those big leather desks and a great big armchair, and the walls have very expensive looking pictures and everything. And I know it's going to work because it all looks very shiny on the outside, and she looks very polished too. So I feel I have confidence in her. And she explains what their different packages are, and it sounds amazing. And she asks me about my ideal man. So I tell her that I want somebody who's really clever but emotionally intelligent as well, who's successful, who could be a good parent, who's fun, who's maybe sometimes a little bit wacky and dangerous, who's worldly wise. I tell her this whole long shopping list of things, and she nods her head and said, yes, we can do that. We can do that by this time tomorrow. And I go, yes, fantastic. Okay, let's do it. And she hands me a contract, and I'm a big picture person. I don't ever look at the details, so I just sign it. And she goes, no, you should read it. I'm like, no, don't worry, fine. Here's my card, let's do it. I go home the next day. I scrumple up the contract, chuck it in the bottom of my bag, right? The next day I get an email. Man A is ready for your date. This is where you meet him. So I turn up at the cocktail bar. Oh my God, he's gorgeous. He's a little bit dangerous. He's really dashing. He's a little bit selfish. He doesn't hold the door open for me, but we have an awful lot of fun. And we meet up a few times over the next few weeks. A couple of weeks later, another email lands in my inbox. Man B is now ready. You can now go to meet him. And I get instructions, and I go and meet him. And he's not quite so good looking, but he seems a lot more sensitive. He seems a lot more kind. And I have a lot of fun, and I kind of start to think, you know, this might be the one for the long term, right? Man A, the shine is going to wear off him. When we're old and wrinkly, presuming you get old and wrinkly in 100 years' time, I don't know. But, you know, maybe I'll want someone who's a bit softer, a bit less selfish, a bit more kind. And as the month comes to an end, and I realise I have to make a decision, I get the contract back out, because I'm like, how do I let them know? And I read it. Oh my God. Right at the bottom, right where I signed, it says, you send an email to the man that you pick, and the other one will be immediately terminated. Oh, fuck. It was the biggest dilemma of my life. Who should I pick, man A or man B? Either way, one of them would die tomorrow. I decided to go for a walk to think it over. Oh my God, who am I going to pick? Can I do that? I can't even kill an ant, right? I can just about kill a moth if I think it's going to eat my jumpers, but I can't kill an ant. So I go for a walk, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And I get my phone out, and I'm walking along the street, and my heart is pounding just as much as my feet on the pavement. And I get my phone out, and I'm about to send a message, and I figure out what I'm going to do. And I stand there, and I breathe, and a bus comes past, and I jump, and I kill myself, because I can't kill anybody else, and they will both live, and I will die instead.
Oh.
Thank you. That's a really wacky talk, right? You wanted unpredictable. You got unpredictable.